Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today? Thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming in. As you can see, it says rules. Hey, Grant. Hello, video. How are you guys? How you doing today? Yeah, so we're talking about UK rules. Um, Somebody showed a picture. Remember those kids that we were talking about yesterday? I was talking about yesterday, and God bless was up here talking about yesterday. Well, guess what? Hold on. I'm going to show you guys a video. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up. God bless sent me this video. And this person can't even mention these people's, like they couldn't show the picture. He couldn't show the picture because it's against the rule. Even though this person did something, these people did something to that little boy, to that 2-year-old. So I'm going to share this video with y'all and see what y'all think. I'm going to put a thing in front of it because I don't want to get a copyright. Hold on. Let me put, I guess this is good enough. Let me share it up here. Give me a second. Let me go back here, make it bigger. All right, so this is about those kids from yesterday. Listen to this. Listen to what they're telling him. Look what he's going to get in trouble for. This is crazy.
So it's come to my attention that the police have issued a no-bail warrant for my arrest for exposing the identity of John Venables, the child killer who killed James Bulger in 1993. Now, I exposed his identity online, and because of that, they've now contacted my legal team and said, "You've got a warrant for his arrest." What this means is basically, even though I'm in Africa saving thousands of lives, literally in the slums, the moment I get back to the UK, they will arrest me and put me straight in prison. However long they get, I don't know, probably 6 months, 12 months, I don't know. But it's a classic example of the corruption of this system, because even though they issued a worldwide ban, they know he keeps getting out of prison, committing sex offences against children, and then gets released, goes back to jail and gets out. So he poses a direct risk to the public, but the government and the courts still protect them, which shows and emphasises my point that the government do not give a shit about the public, even when they're releasing sex offenders, because all it takes is him to meet a woman who's got children. That woman doesn't know his history or who he is, and he poses a direct risk to these kids, which is a massive breach of human rights, in my opinion. But a little message to you police in the United Kingdom: I will happily do jail for that, but until that time, catch me whenever the fuck you can, because I'm here all over social media in a bit.
Hold on, why is it cut off? That's it. So this guy gets arrested for showing. Remember that picture I shared yesterday with you guys? The one one of the ones that's still in prison for unaliving that 2-year-old little boy. Yeah, that part. Hold on 1 second. I got something else I want to show y'all. This is a case that I did. I'm pretty sure that this one is that one, but I just want to make sure before I share it with y'all. All right, let me make sure this is it. That's what it looks like. It's the one where they had the fight. Hold on. Hold on. Let me see. Give me a second. Oh no, this is not the one. Okay, I'm glad I can show it to you. It was just another arrest they made on another case. This is not the case. Okay, that's good. All right. Let me see what else I have in here. I think this is a video. Yeah, it's a video. So this is not about what we were talking about yesterday. Hey, Together, how are you? Thank you for coming in. Hey, Boswell, thank you for coming in. Hello, hello. So yeah, please hit that like. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, so let me go ahead and share this. This is a video. Let me put my whatchamacallit up on here. So Boswell, you know that guy that had that video about the two little, about the two boys that unalive that 2-year-old from yesterday that we were talking about? Well, guess what? He's being arrested for showing a picture of him, of John Vauntable, whatever his name is. Yeah. So that's what I was showing at the beginning. I could show it again if you guys want to see it. Hold on one second. Let me pull it up again. All right, I still have my thing up. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to show it again so y'all can see it. Hold on. Bring it up.
Venables, the child killer who killed James Bulger. It's come to my attention that the police have issued a no bail warrant for my arrest for exposing the identity of John Venables, the child killer who killed James Bulger in 1993. I exposed his identity online, and because of that, they've now contacted my legal team and said, "You've got a warrant for his arrest." What this means is basically, even though I'm in Africa saving thousands of lives, literally in the slums, the moment I get back to the UK, they will arrest me and put me straight in prison. However long I get, I don't know, probably 6 months, 12 months, I don't know. But it's a classic example of the corruption of this system, because even though they issued a worldwide ban, they know he keeps getting out of prison, committing sex offences against children, and then gets released, goes back to jail, gets out. So he poses a direct risk to the public, but the government and the courts still protect them, which shows and emphasises my point that the government do not give a shit about the public, even when they're releasing sex offenders, because all it takes is him to meet a woman who's got children. That woman doesn't know his history or who he is, and he poses a direct risk to these kids, which is a massive breach of human rights, in my opinion. But a little message to you police in the United Kingdom: I will happily do jail for that, but until that time, catch me whenever the fuck you can, because I'm here all over social media in a bit.
I forgot to put that up. That's okay. All right, so now let me share this one. Now that's him about him showing a picture of the guy. All right, and this one is about Arizona. A woman powed and unalived. Okay, she's from Arizona and she was powed in Mexico. That's what this one is about. Alrighty. Hold on, let me. Hold on. Let's see if I can mute it first. Goodness, nobody wants to watch trash. All right.
Go to this next story. Shocking. A developing story that is coming in from just south of the border. 2 older Arizona women were killed in an armed assault. The Sonora Attorney General's office says the attack happened last Friday on the highway south of Lukeville. The victims, why were they attacked in the first place, these elderly women? They were found dead inside an overturned SUV that was riddled with bullets. 172, 182. They were on their way to their hometown of Caborca when police say they were attacked.
72 and 82-year-old. 72-year-old and an 82-year-old. Hey, No Cap, how are you?
And bulletproof vests were found inside. So far, no arrests have been made.
Yeah, that's where we're at now. 72 and 82. Wow. Yeah, and I don't understand why people are being unalived at that age. Like, they don't have much more to live as it is. Why would they take their life like that? This just doesn't make any sense. Hold on. Did I do this one? No, I did not do this one. I ended up not doing it. Okay, you guys, I'm going to share this one with you guys. Together sent this one to me. Insurance money. I guess so. This is getting really old with all this stuff going on. For real, for real. Ooh-wee.
Little girl's parents have both been arrested.
And we just want to warn you before we get too far into the story that some of the details here are very graphic and are not easy to hear.
The little girl's parents have both been arrested, and now we're learning what allegedly happened to her before she was rushed to the hospital.
News Force Dylan Brown is here with
details
on this. New details. Dylan.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. It's going to be hard to hear for some. So the parents already in jail. Now the child's aunt and uncle are also locked up. Police say they knew about the abuse. The details of what exactly happened to that 7-year-old come from their own daughter.
A Bible verse and a sign of hope at this Midwest City apartment.
Baby didn't deserve what she got.
Neighbors say it seemed like there was no hope, though, for 7-year-old Violet Mitchell, who lived there. In early August, she would be taken to the hospital by her parents, Anthony Yonko, Lisa Mitchell, dead, wrapped in a blanket, weighing only 25 pounds.
Wow.
A child. That's sad. That's disgusting.
The victim's aunt and uncle, David Yonko, Tiffany Mitchell,
They
now
knew about
also charged in the case. The arrest warrant says their daughter, the victim's cousin, was able to help police understand the horrors in the home they all often shared. She says for months, the parents tortured the girl, allegedly pouring hot food on Violet's arms and legs, gluing her mouth shut. The cousin would have to dig the glue out of her mouth. They reportedly hit her with a broom. The 7-year-old was kept in a crib for a long time, possibly a month. If Violet cried, she says they cursed at her and kept food from her. Sometimes the cousin would grab Violet and run out of the house so they would stop hitting her. Other accusations, they would tie Violet's arms and legs with strings, leave her in a crib in the home. The young girl told police she would untie her cousin who was scared and would tie her back up before everyone came back. This all while the cousin herself says she was abused.
Spend the rest of their life in jail.
Because why?
That's a baby. That's a child. They're helpless.
Tara Day lives nearby. She says she fed Violet 2 days before her death.
She just said she was hungry.
And what'd you end up feeding her?
Feeding her chicken, mashed potatoes, gravy, and green beans and corn.
Did she tell you anything about the parents saying, hey, this is an issue or this is
No, she said her parents loved her. That's all she said. And she cried, and I took her back home. But I took her because she was hungry.
Did
and
she look like she was?
She was malnutrition.
100%.
Yeah.
Now, David Yonko, Tiffany Mitchell face neglect and aggravated abuse charges. All 4 are in jail right now, and all 4 had kids. Those kids are said to be in DHS custody.
Wow. Do you see what I'm saying? These people are just psychotic. Like, what is going on? And here's another one. Some evil people. Is this a video? No, this is not a video. So I'm going to send. Let's see. Let me see if we can find a video on this one. This happened 6 days ago, is when it was reported, I guess. This is another evil heifer here. I'll eliminate her damn self. My damn self, excuse me. Florida mother allegedly whipped 3-year-old daughter with a hanger on her, oh my goodness, on FaceTime, and claimed her ex created the footage with AI. You know that's a bunch of BS. Jesus, these people are so evil. Video. How did she think everybody's going to believe that crap? Oh, this one's NBC6. Okay, so this one's going to be the one we're going to see. Lord have mercy.
Littlest Pet Shop crew. Check out Littlest Pet Shop on Roblox.
A Miami Gardens mother was caught on camera beating her 3-year-old little girl with a hanger. Records show the mother explained the beating was her way of disciplining the child.
NBC6 reporter Christian Colon joins us from court. And a warning, the video in this story is disturbing.
Here it is.
Oh, you can't get up now, huh? You can't get up now, huh? Shut up.
A 3-year-old toddler is heard weeping as her mother, police say, screams and whips her with a hanger.
You still don't want to shut up? That's fine. I'm gonna watch you. Y'all gonna watch me kill y'all kid. How about that?
In this video, 25-year-old Aliyah Herring is heard arguing on a FaceTime call with her baby's father, David Jones.
Blowing up my phone, asking me to come pick up Ashanti. Then she started sending me pictures on Messenger saying that she had it. She's saying I'm making excuses. I'm not picking up Ashanti. I'm not caring for her. I'm not acting like the father that I was supposed to be.
Jones tells NBC6 they are broken up and he has supervised visits with the toddler. Herring wanted him to pick his daughter up, but the conversation turned violent and Jones started recording.
Since y'all don't want to handle y'all own kid, guess what? I'll eliminate her my damn self.
Police say Herring repeatedly struck the baby and threatened to kill her.
Literally just went off on Ashanti saying that,
hey, Howard, how are you?
that
she should be in prison and never let go.
I'm not gonna take care of her, then she might as well just be dead.
Herring was arrested and told investigators she was just disciplining the victim for throwing a remote at her. But then she denied being in the video, claiming her ex used artificial intelligence against her.
Whatever.
Yes, I know you said AI created all of this in that video. It wasn't you. Which would be a really interesting defense if it were true.
and the baby is currently with the defendant's stepmother. Police say that she has no visible injuries. We're also learning that DCF is investigating this case. As for the defendant herself, she could get out of jail but was ordered to stay away from her toddler. In Miami, Christian Colon, NBC6 News.
These people are ruthlessly disgusting. Let's see if this is the video. If it's, yep, it's a video. All right, so this one is about, hold on. So this one is the woman caught on camera tossing and kicking son. Jesus Christ, these evil people.
Able to do anything, unable to defend himself. We want to warn you one more time before we show this video again. It is difficult to watch.
A 3-year-old child abused. Police say by his own mother.
How can a mother do this? I mean, she's a monster.
Sunny House Police says Yulia Starozhuk is the woman in the video and the young boy is her son. The police say on Monday, a neighbor's Ring camera caught Starozhuk pick up her son and throw him to the floor. A police report says she then kicks him several times down the hallway of the apartment complex. Police say the neighbor turned the video in.
Thank goodness for this neighbor doing the right thing, because who knows what could happen to this child if she didn't.
Ma'am, you were arrested for 1 count of aggravated child abuse.
Starozhuk was in court Wednesday pleading with the judge through an interpreter.
Когда так к нему не относилась, это у меня просто был выбух эмоций.
What?
I am very sorry. I'm a single mom, and it was the only one incident where I let my emotions took better of me.
Police say Starozhuk told detectives the reason why she kicked and pushed her son.
Hey AI, how are you?
He was not listening to her. Detectives are now investigating whether this mother has abused her son.
Right, let's do that to her. Now she
is
likes
going to
period.
take the consequences that comes with her actions.
You got these liars that are doing this to their little babies. This is horrible. Oh my gosh. This one says, unaliver mom, Susan Smith, begging father of kids she drowned not to oppose her parole this year. What? Let's see what this heifer here is doing. Let me see something. Hold on. She cray. She needs to go. She needs to stay there. Don't be opposing my parole this year. What? You better stay up behind where you belong. Let me see if I can find a video on that craziness. You did what you did. You went to prison, and you need to stay in prison for what you did. What are you talking about? Hold on. Wow. These people are crazy. Okay? Just crazy that they think that somebody is not going to leave them where they need to be. They need to stay behind bars, period. Hold on, let me see here. This is crazy. I guess I'll show this one. All right, I'm gonna let you guys watch this heifer here. how she's claiming not the one that did anything. Hey, Cash, how are you? No. You know that guy that we were talking about yesterday about the 2 10-year-olds with the 2-year-old? The guy that was reporting what that guy looks like now? Well, they want to arrest him, y'all. Yeah, they want to arrest him for showing his picture, for helping people figure out who he is when he got out. Like, he may not be out now, but when he does get out, you guys will get to know what he looked like. Unless he goes and gets plastic surgery. All right, here we go.
Whoever has my children, please bring them home.
That was Susan Smith in October 1994, begging for the safe return of her 2 young sons, who it turned out she murdered. Now Smith's coming up for parole, and the prosecutor who put her in prison is here to say whether or not he believes she should be released. Thanks for joining me for Crime Fix. I'm Anjanette.
Definitely not.
The case of Susan Smith and her missing sons captured the attention of the nation. This was back, of course, before everyone had a cell phone. It was before social media, and the search for Smith's 2 sons, 3-year-old Michael and 14-month-old Alexander, was the top story on the national news for days. Smith called police in Union, South Carolina, and claimed a black man carjacked her and took the car with her 2 little boys in the back.
I don't know if y'all remember about this
Smith
case.
went on national television begging for the carjacker to bring.
Try to blame a black guy for
the
this.
entire time. Little Michael and Alexander, those poor defenseless little boys, were strapped in their car seats. They were dead in the back seat of their mother's car that she had let roll into the bottom of John D. Long Lake. A jury found Smith guilty, but opted to send her to prison for life instead of giving her the death penalty. Later this year, Susan Smith will be up for parole because at the time she was sentenced, life didn't mean life. She would be eligible for parole after serving just 30 years. Since she's been in prison, Susan Smith has been in some trouble. She's been caught using drugs. She's had sexual relationships, including one with a prison guard. She's lost phone and canteen privileges a number of times, but hasn't been in trouble since about 2015. One thing that I think is important to note, Susan Smith has been in prison for almost 30 years, and she has not earned 1 educational credit. Not
This
one.
crazy woman right
She
here
has
is
spent more time talking to
saying
people who want
for
to
this
date her.
demon, I
The
should
now
say.
defunct outlet The Messenger reported
He
last
doesn't
year
want
that Smith
her
told one
ex
man
to
that she thought she'd be a
oppose
good
her
stepmom.
getting out of prison.
And that man was quoted as saying back to her, "You'd be great, babe." Prosecutors argued at trial that Susan Smith killed her sons because a man she was having an affair with told her in a letter that he didn't want children. Smith,
Wow.
meanwhile, claimed she had a psychotic breakdown and had garnered some sympathy because her stepfather had sexually abused her as a teenager.
Wow.
Joining me is somebody who knows more about Susan Smith's case than anybody.
Me
He's
too.
Tommy Pope. He prosecuted Susan Smith and put her in prison. Tommy, thanks for coming on. Take me back. Yeah, thank you. Take me back to 1994 and
Okay,
getting that
Cash.
call that these 2 little boys were missing.
Sure. So I was the elected solicitor. That's our district attorney here in South Carolina. I had 2 counties. I had York, which was my larger, more affluent county, and then Union County, which was my smaller county. We would have court about
This
once a month.
crazy woman unalived her
Really,
kids,
it's kind of a
got out of the
small
car talking
kind
about
of
because
population
this
decrease in
man
Middletown.
of hers
The
doesn't
Texas
like
kind of moved
or
out.
doesn't
And
want
so,
kids. So
I
she
had
goes
been
and
elected-
alive her
let's see, I
kids
got
so
elected
she
in
can
92, so I've
beat
been
them
elected
down.
just a few years.
And
I
now the
30
husband, which is
30
the
years old when I got
ex-husband,
elected.
wants to,
always laugh. I
who's
said,
been
I got
opposing
elected
her
really to tackle
parole.
the backlog.
Now
I
she's
supposed to have
asking
the
him
worst
not
backlog
to
in the state,
oppose
and I said, I don't know if people
for
saw
her
merit in me.
parole. That
Thought
means
I
she
could do
wants
it
to
worse
be
than
able
the
to
other
get
guys,
out.
but we had the
No.
worst backlog in the state. So I got elected in 92. It was really kind of focusing on dealing with the backlog. And again, Union was smaller. It didn't really ever have a problem. Actually, when this case came up, the initial report of the carjacker, I'd been a law enforcement officer before. I'd worked at the South Carolina Law Enforcement Division. And so
This actually
when I heard
happened.
the carjacker story, it just didn't really jive. I was staying in touch with the SLED agents. They would call me. I was actually in trial over in York County. I tell people I was doing the Lord's work. I was prosecuting the preacher who had embezzled from the daycare center. So I was doing the heavy lifting over there. But I got a call most nights on the way the investigation was going. I think it went like 9 days with Susan pleading to the media and all this.
Yeah.
And then I remember I had just finished that case, and I got a call that that the boys had been located in John D. Long Lake. So I got in the car and went down to John D. Long Lake that night.
When you get to the lake and you see that vehicle pulled out of the water and these poor little boys, I mean, these are the most defenseless. I mean, 14 months, 3 years old, they're in their car seats. And
Right.
they've been placed in a lake by their mother, the most defenseless of victims. I just can't even imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to in my law enforcement career and in my prosecution career, I've been to a lot of crime scenes, and I went there intentionally because, you know, we'd already kind of dealt with the 9 days media pressure. So you knew it was going to be O.J. Simpson was going on at the time. And this was, you know, I'd had a lot of, you know, big cases, but media wise, this one, you know, Susan Smith herself had kind of drawn it along, you know, crying about the babies and needing help.
1994.
So I went down for one, obviously, to see what was occurring, but two, so that later on, if I got tired or I got worn out and, you know, didn't want to
I'll show you guys the pictures of the babies after.
So what I saw that night
afterwards
was a car pulled out with the two boys still in the car seats. I saw grown men crying. And again, I think it was as much of the tragedy as the heartbreak, because people have been searching for those kids. People have been searching for those carjackers, working, hoping to recover those kids. And then to see it come to that, it was devastating. I always remember, because I had a young son at the time, the difficulty we go through as parents swapping those car seats. I'm going to take them out of my car and put them in your car, and then we're going to get the kids in it. And, you know, it's really a lot of work to keep them safe. And I did see kind of some raw irony that, you know, the very devices that are supposed to protect them ultimately were the implements of their death.
Yeah. You know, little Michael, 3 years old, Alexander, 14 months, you know, their father believed this story that a black man had carjacked his wife and kidnapped the children, taken the vehicle. Maybe didn't want to kidnap children, but had certainly taken the vehicle. And the one thing that gets me, and I remember this very vividly. I mean, I remember this. This was back before the internet, really, before social media. This was a huge story. This was on the news every night, and people were just like, "My God." You know, I hope they find these children. I think a red flag, though, is this whole story about, you know, a black man carjacked me, stole my car, and took my children. I feel like, and whenever I hear that, you know, I've heard that over and over in other cases too. It almost takes me back to like To Kill a Mockingbird. It sounds so absurd. Was that in any way a red flag for you with this case?
Well, and initially, I really thought, like I said, I was in trial in the other case, but I wasn't. I mean, not that I didn't care about the kids being returned, but I wasn't overly concerned that what she was saying happened had really happened. I actually thought perhaps it was some type of domestic situation. You know, she was estranged from her husband a little bit. Maybe she hides the kids out with her cousin, you know, down at Myrtle Beach or something like that, you know, to create some drama. Because from a law enforcement standpoint, there's a reason you call them a carjacker. You know, it's not a woman jacker or a baby. That's a kidnapper. You know, it's not a baby jacker. Their hierarchy is they're normally looking for the car. Then they may be looking for money. Then maybe a female to assault. So it's so far down the line that.
No matter what type of severe asthma you have, Tespire can help you have fewer attacks and relieve your asthma symptoms.
And, you know, and then when she tells her story that he stops long enough for her to get out, but says, I don't have time to let the kids out.
You were born 25, 25?
You know, like
you haven't even been born yet.
Where inadvertently, you know, I steal your car, not realizing the baby's asleep in the back. You know, you've seen some cases like that. And very often those cases, they put the baby out at the gas station or something and, you know, take off with the car. So
not if you were born in 25, 25. You definitely weren't
I don't
born
think
yet.
it really hit home until we found the boys to realize that this was much bigger in a horrible, horrible way than we ever thought.
When did you all realize, or when did the SLED agents realize that maybe Susan was not being honest about what had happened?
You know, in a strange twist, and like you said, back then, you know, we didn't have all the different news sources we can, but she was drawn from the beginning to the opportunity and the attention of being on the media. I remember I had raw footage from Channel 7 out of Spartanburg that was the first people on the scene to the house she went to. They had called David
I wouldn't even be
to come to
born.
the scene, and they're about to do the video. The camera lights are off. That was back in the old days when you had a big boy like me carrying the cameras, and then you had the anchor person doing the work. So they the lady, the anchor person, says something to the effect. So David and Susan are standing in front of them, ready for the camera, and she says, "Okay, you know, when the lights come on, then I'm gonna ask you, you know, your name and then what happened, whatever." Right before the lights come on, Susan looks at David and kind of,
Look, I'm going to show you a picture of them. The babies. These are the two little babies. Let me take this off of here so y'all can see how cute these babies are. And she did what she did. Evil twit of a mom. Look at these little ones. Look at them. What could they hurt? Nothing. They can't hurt anything. Lord have mercy. All right, now we can finish this video. I can't believe she's holding up to say.
They're going to be on TV. You know what I mean?
Don't oppose my parole.
He looks like a guy who was just told your kids have been stolen. And so going through it, there were always kind of little instances, but I was going to say the media intensity, because ultimately she was on every national media, interviewed like the Today Show and all this stuff. And she was fine when she was getting the accolades and the sympathy. When they started questioning her a little bit, she started, cracking. That's and so I think that media pressure helped. And then there were just slowly inconsistencies. The other thing is law enforcement always runs a dual investigation. If you tell me an alien took your child, then I'm going to go work on the alien case too. But I'm also going to check the logical things like family members. And so, sometimes people say that's offensive, but you have to check out the victim's family too to kind of check that off the list. Fortunately, they kept that working, and ultimately it proved they were looking in the right spot.
You sought the death penalty, but she ended up getting life.
Correct.
And so do you have any inkling as to why that was? I mean, I'm not asking you to make a statement on, the morality of the death penalty or anything like that. But I mean, this is a very heinous case. And I know there was a lot out there at the time about the fact that I think Susan's stepfather had been engaged in some type of sexual relationship with her. She may have been a victim of sexual abuse, but there was also some questions about, I don't know if it was consensual and if it was continuing. I mean, that's a whole different kind of conversation. So this is a woman who's got some major issues.
Yes, and so I'll give you kind of my view because it's funny. OJ was going on. OJ started before, it ended after, and we got a lot of credit, South Carolina as a whole, because they think anybody with an accent like this, it's going to be like Dukes of Hazzard or something, when we try a case. And so, we had a tight window, and the case went well. As far as the death penalty itself, and I know you said you're not, trying to get too deep. I always said, the defense, David Brock, they did a tremendous job. Their whole goal is to make sure it is not the death penalty. They do death penalty.
So they're trying to get rolled out.
To their yang. I don't wake up, bloodthirsty.
I don't understand it.
Execute. I just view it more almost like a military officer.
Tell them that
if we have the death penalty in South Carolina, and
you're going to oppose my parole, why would we not? You want to life as two kids. What are you talking about?
People often think they can handle their claim on their own. That's exactly what the insurance companies want you to think.
I tried to treat Susan the same way I think anybody else should have been treated in that circumstance.
Let me show you what this
whatever the most stringent penalty was, whatever we would have had, that's what she deserved. I also thought if the black man had done it, they would have run me out of office if I didn't seek the death penalty. If David Smith had committed the crime, same deal. So I just thought Susan needed to be treated in the same manner. The difficulty there is it makes people uncomfortable to think, one, a mother would do that. Two, somebody that looks like our coworker, our sister. It's almost easier for us to accept if it is the bad guy because you can figure out how it won't happen to you and I. Because every day I left
work, that did that to kids over a guy.
And I never feared for my child's life. So that was a reason that in my time with David Smith, convinced me that going forward, even though it'd been easier to kind of pull the plug and not seek the death penalty, going forward was, the right move. From the jury themselves, back then, until 1996, jurors were not told that life did not mean life. In 1996, in South Carolina, it started meaning, if you got a life sentence, you've served life. Back then, it was parole eligibility for 30 years. And hence we're talking about it now, 30 years later. So many of the jurors thought that if she was in jail, she would be remorseful, think about the boys, and that life sentence would be, more appropriate. If she was remorseful, maybe I'd agree, but you've seen from her conduct in prison, sex with guards and other things, that she's been focused on Susan, not that. The second thing I'd say, and again, I give the defense credit, we did not change venue. We stayed in Union County for the jury, and pretty much everybody knows everybody. So there was also the component, if I give your loved one the death penalty, I'm going to see you at the grocery store, later. And I think that puts some pressure on jurors too.
You mentioned her conduct in prison, and prison's supposed to be about rehabilitation, and that's a whole nother conversation too. I mean, sometimes people are just kind of warehoused, and sometimes they get better, sometimes they get worse, but it's also up to them to take part in some programming or something to better themselves. And you're right, she's gotten in trouble for having sex with a prison guard. I think she's had some other relationships when she's been in there, maybe with some inmates. She has suitors in there. She has people in there. She's having these conversations on her tablet or what have you. And I think I read one where the guy said that she'd be a great mom. You'd be a great mom, babe. And I just can't even imagine that. Like, I think Susan Smith needs to be kept as far away from children as humanly possible. BS. I mean, are
She's
you
gonna be
going
a
to
great
oppose
mom.
her
She's gonna like her
release
kids.
when she comes up for parole? Because I can't imagine. I'm not seeing many signs. She hasn't gotten into big trouble recently, but I'm not seeing many signs that show me that there's been a whole lot of rehabilitation here.
I think you assessed it well. I think, you know, if you look at her record over the 30 years, I mean, I've seen much, much worse, you know, behavior-wise, assaults on the guards, you know, contraband, things of that nature. I think to me, her behavior is a reflection of who she is, which is really,
Libido.
Susan's always been about Susan. I mean, all the way even going back to, you know, laughing about we're going to be on TV, or the SLED agent taking her to the polygraph and her flirting with them saying, it's a beautiful day. I wish you and I were riding to the beach instead of doing this. Or, you know, she's just, I mean, it's the way she's wired. She's always been about how things affect her. I mean, and nothing more telling than
I'm happy that she's not getting out. Aren't you happy she's not getting out after what she did to her two babies?
About parole, but I try to kind of call it the way I see it. And so normally what I tell the parole board is I believe in truth in sentencing. The jury gave her life under the belief she would be serving a life, and that's what she needs to do. It'll be interesting. I assume we'll hear from David Smith. I always tell people, you know, ultimately cameras were excluded from the courtroom, and you're kind of darned if you do, darned if you don't. If you're a prosecutor, if I act like I want cameras, then it's because I'm a glory hound. If I act like I don't, then I've got something to hide. But in this circumstance, I said selfishly, the only thing I wish everybody in the country, everybody in the world could have seen David Smith's testimony, because, you know, by the time we got ready to try it, we were ready right after the first of the year. This happened kind of around Halloween, and the defense said they needed more time. And what they did, they kind of worked the public opinion, and that's when you started hearing Susan, the victim, you know, whether the victim of the stepfather, the victim of the husband, the victim of the boyfriend, or whatever. And so by the time we get around to trial, I was having people question why I was even trying for Susan. And I always said when David Smith took the stand in the penalty phase of a death penalty case, what I would always do is basically bring the victims back to life. In other words, I would talk about the good times. You know, and David talked about Michael couldn't say Dalmatians. He liked 101 Diametrons. You know, and he would tell stories about taking them to the park. Tell stories, sadly or ironically, how the boys didn't like to take a bath. They didn't like to get wet, which was, you know, odd in and of itself. But by the time David got through, I would then take him, basically I'd bring the loved ones alive and then go to their death again. And so David went through that.
10-year-old child
arrested. Anybody could have seen that man testify.
Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Walk away too.
I mean,
anybody could have seen
let me go look it up.
Testify. They'd know why we were in that courtroom that day.
Wow.
What a horrible case. Tommy Pope, we will keep an eye on it and see what happens at that hearing in November. Thank you so much for coming on. We appreciate it.
All right, let me look. 10-year-old in UK arrested. Lord have mercy. Child. He was a rioter? Oh, Lordy, Lord. Hold on. Let me see if they got a video. They don't have any videos. They gotta have a video. Here we go. Nope, that's not it. 2 hours ago. Let's see. Hold on.
Shocking of all, watching that violence unfold, was the fact that when you saw the footage, when you saw the images of what was happening, it became quite obvious that quite a lot of those taking part were children. And we now know, in fact, that they were. According to the National Police Chiefs Council, almost 150 people aged between just 10 and 17 have been arrested in relation to the riots. And of those, 58 have now been charged with criminal offences. Today, after raids in Middlesbrough, police announced another spate of arrests in connection with the riots. They included an 11-year-old. Now, I think back to when I was an 11-year-old boy. I was probably too busy playing too much PlayStation or obsessing over football stickers or Pokemon cards or Barnet Football Club or all the other things that 11-year-old boys are supposed to be doing and being interested in that doesn't involve joining in with violent disorder or fighting with the police or taking part in far-right riots. And yet, in too many cases, that is exactly what seems to have been happening. These aren't just children, they are young children. If they're 11, there's a decent chance they haven't even started secondary school yet. And it begs the question, doesn't it, as these arrests continue and as the courts continue to hear these cases, what do we do about these kids? What do we do with them?
I'm not laughing at what's going on. I'm laughing at what they said.
Or alleged criminals, as many of them currently are.
He said he's blaming on the Nightbot.
One man who's got quite a lot of power in this area has been speaking out today about his views on that. Keith Fraser is the chair of the Youth Justice Board, which oversees youth justice in England and Wales. And he's been urging police to only prosecute these children as a last resort. He says this: "My hope is that there has been individual consideration in relation to each child. Prosecution has ultimately got to be a last resort and deemed necessary by all those involved." Do you agree with that? That when it comes to these children, whatever the alleged crimes that they've been committing, we have to try everything else before we prosecute them, take them to court and potentially punish them? Part of me agrees with that. Part of me thinks they are so young that sort of tough approach just, it doesn't feel appropriate for 11-year-olds. And then another part of me says, well, actually, they're old enough to take part in riots, they're old enough to know better, and frankly, they need to learn a lesson pretty quickly. That if they behave like that, there will be serious consequences. That only by learning that lesson do we stop them going on to reoffend. 03456060973. Is it a softly approach that we need? Is it an arm around the shoulder, a bit of love that these children need? Or do they need to learn the meaning of tough justice, in your view? And there's another element to this, isn't there? Because these kids are so young that I think it also begs the question, is it them that we should be going after in terms of trying to pursue justice? Or actually, if it's an 11-year-old or a 10-year-old that's involved in rioting, is it the parents that need to be held accountable just as much, if not more, than the child themselves? Is it the parents who you think should be the ones feeling the full weight of the law? Because if a child that young is rioting, surely it's mum and dad, or mum or dad, that's to blame. 03456060973. Call or WhatsApp me on that number. Text 84850. I mentioned Keith Fraser to you there, the chair of the Youth Justice Board, who has made the recommendation that prosecution should be a last resort. Delighted to say he joins me now. Keith, great to have you with us this afternoon. Just before we come on to what should happen to these children, I mean, it's fair to say, isn't it, that for a 10 or 11-year-old to be taking part in far-right riots, an awful lot of things must have gone wrong in their life. Good afternoon.
Wow.
Good afternoon, and thank you. Firstly, I want us to remember Bibi, Elsie and Alice, who were tragically taken away for us, and all of the communities that were directly affected in Southport. And also I wanted to thank the police for what they did and the other emergency responders in relation to what happened on that day in Southport and the subsequent disorder that took place afterwards. Also, nothing that I'm going to say is going to actually make an excuse for those awful scenes that we all saw on our TVs and some of us directly involved in and also scared us. So I do want to say from the outset, I totally condemn the disorder that took place and are really grateful for those that stepped up. I think, you know, there's some points I'd like to make just right at the outset, really, is that it's a sad reality that some of the children involved in the disorder will have to face the consequences. Also, secondly, there are many reasons why from the previous disorders we had back in 2011 that children were involved. And I think critically as well, it's important that the individual circumstances of each child are considered.
Raising Cane's is celebrating our golden
Wow.
but not just with deliciously golden hand-battered chicken fingers. We're starting the party by giving away over.
When you say some of the children should face the consequences, Keith, why shouldn't all the children that were found to have been guilty of taking part in that awful violence, why shouldn't they all face consequences?
All of the children should face consequences of their behaviour. What I'm saying is that some children will face prosecution and others may not. What I'm really
Video coming out soon,
for
JC?
is that we have an individual and evidence-based response to this. And I think we need to look back and learn the lessons from 2011. Unfortunately, tragically,
What's your video about?
2025? For the future. You know, I was
2025,
for 32 years, so there's nothing I'm going to say here which isn't about protecting the public or also about ensuring that children are able to play their part in society.
And you're talking
previously.
Sorry, just to jump in there, you're talking about the 2011 riots, of course. I think over almost 500 children were arrested there. What are the lessons that need to be learned more 13 years on?
Yeah, unfortunately, you quite rightly highlighted the significant number of children that appeared before the court. There's about a third of those appearing before the courts in 2011 were children. Complex reasons as to why children got involved in relation to their maturity, being swept up in the excitement, being influenced by social media and their peers. Also social factors as well, including poverty, alienation from police and from schools. And also many of those children had special educational needs and disabilities. And also the influence of adults, including their parents and carers. Sometimes those influences were positive, but also sometimes those influences were bad. So we do need to make sure that adults, as you highlighted earlier on, are having a positive influence on our children. And so there is some work that needs to be done with adults.
Where are you going?
If they're not prosecuted, these kids that are found to have been involved, what alternative punishments are there that might be appropriate?
And it's not necessarily around punishment. It is around children understanding the consequences of their actions and their behaviour. So nothing I talk about is about excusing bad behaviour, but it is about our response to it. And what I know that what people will want and what victims will want, what communities will want to prevent something like this occurring again is absolutely critical.
But of course, but if they don't feel the full weight of the law, if they aren't significantly punished for what they did, doesn't that just risk them sort of taking away the message that there's no consequences to criminality?
What we're not saying is that in the most serious of cases that shouldn't lead to a prosecution, and some of those children may end up in what people generally know as a prison for children. But what we're saying is that shouldn't, and I'm saying that shouldn't be a blanket approach. We need to be looking at the individual circumstances. The sad fact is that once a child touches the criminal justice system, they are more likely to re-enter into the justice system. So if we want to have safer communities and less victims out there, and
JC's not a minor.
Part of society,
JC, how old are you?
To keep them out of the justice system. It's really around children really understanding a change within themselves, and change is what the technical term is, a pro-social identity. But for you and me, it's about you feeling valued in society and understanding how you can play your part in society.
Let's talk about
we don't have kids in here because this stuff is not for kids. Everything I do is adults.
And riots, because it seems to me that yes, the child's responsible, they're above the age of criminal culpability and so on, but the parents also need to have a good hard look at what they need to be, the subject of quite a lot of attention from the authorities, don't they?
What we need to do is working with families. It's not about stigmatising all parents. I've got a case study in front of me which I can highlight.
And the thing about it is all the people who
the parents have done all they can to work with
for all these prisoners to eat
and found themselves caught up in
have a place
so I think
to live.
If we're looking at what we can do in relation to
there
are professionals locally, justice services, and also wider local authorities that can work with families to support parents and carers around what's needed in relation to supporting them to provide the right opportunities for their children.
It's support, it's help for the parents rather than punishment that you think is more appropriate.
I don't think that we should be generally stigmatising
Cash, I don't think he's a minor.
There will be some adults out there providing their kids with bad role models, but the vast majority of adults will not be in that.
What about the ones that?
Hold on. JC, how old are you?
In some cases, or let them go. That's a different story, isn't it?
Well, you've got to look. There's possible elements of criminal culpability there in relation to that. So that's a different circumstance, and obviously the police should look into that if there are any possible offences there. But the general point we do, it needs to be about looking at it on an individual basis. You guys
are kids. I don't need you in here.
It's not about being hard or soft. It's about being evidence-based. And we keep our eye on the goal, which is about safety communities. It's about no victims out there. It's about kids being able to be a positive part of society. That's what we want. It's not a debate around whether or not we're going to be hard or soft. It's about what leads to that outcome for children feeling that they can, they've got a role to play in society. We need to look at the evidence about what works.
Thank you very much indeed for coming on. Keith Fraser, Chair of the Youth Justice Board, who's made that recommendation today that prosecution should only be a last resort. Do you agree that it's support the parents need, love these kids need, not just criminality and punishment and prosecution?
Oh, Lord have mercy. JC, this is being logged. I'm going to attorney. Please carry on. Okay, I'm gonna do a quick. Hold on 1 second. You're funny, Cash. Okay, I'm gonna do a UK story for you guys. Okay, hold on. This is what I'm gonna do. You guys are gonna enjoy this because this is something new. Okay, the US? No, it's gonna be UK. UK. All right, here we go. I'm gonna make a phone call on this app. It's an AI app, and it tells us stories. You guys want stories or do you want jokes? Tell me. Put it in the chat. Stories or jokes? Y'all want a story or jokes? Let me take this thing off here. All right, you want stories or you want jokes? Stories? Okay. All right. Watch this. Tell me a story about the UK.
Sure, I can tell you a story about the UK. The UK has a long and rich history, dating back thousands of years to the ancient Celts and Romans. Throughout the centuries, the country has seen numerous invasions and conflicts, including the Norman conquest of 1066, the War of the Roses, the English Civil War, and 2 world wars. Despite these challenges, the UK has emerged as one of the most influential countries in the world, known for its culture, arts, and innovation.
Tell me more.
Sure. The UK has had a major impact on the world, particularly in terms of politics and culture. The country was once a dominant colonial power, with a vast empire that at one time spanned around a quarter of the globe. Many of the former colonies, including Canada, Australia, India, and the United States, continue to maintain strong ties to the UK. The UK is also known for its contributions to literature, music, and art, with many of the world's most famous authors, musicians, and artists hailing from the country.
All right. Okay, thank you. Watch this one. Hold on. Let me pull up the other guy. Listen to this one. Hello, tell me a little bit about UK.
The United Kingdom, typically referred to as the UK, is a sovereign country located
Hello,
in
White
northwestern
Zombie.
Europe. It comprises 4 constituent countries: England, Scotland, Wales, and Northern Ireland. The capital city is London, and the official language is English, though there are regional languages spoken within the country.
Tell me a little more.
The UK has a rich history dating back thousands of years and has played a significant role in world events, particularly during the British Empire era. It is known for its cultural heritage, including its architecture, literature, and music. The UK is also known for its cultural sites, such as the Tower of London and Stonehenge. In terms of geography, the country is home to a diverse range of landscapes, from rolling hills to beaches to mountains.
Tell me some more.
The UK has a strong economy and is a major player in the global market, with significant sectors including finance, manufacturing, and technology. It is also home to a diverse population with a variety of religious and cultural backgrounds. The UK has a long tradition of scientific and technological innovation and is home to some of the world's most prestigious universities, including Oxford and Cambridge. The UK is also known for its healthcare system, with a publicly funded National Health Service (NHS) that provides free healthcare to all UK citizens.
Tell me a little bit more.
The UK is known for its beautiful countryside, with numerous areas designated as national parks or areas of outstanding natural beauty. The country is home to a variety of wildlife, including badgers, foxes, and rabbits. The UK is also known for its rich culinary scene, with traditional dishes such as fish and chips, shepherd's pie, and the full English breakfast being popular both within the country and abroad. The UK is also known for its sports, with football, soccer being particularly popular, along with rugby, cricket, and tennis.
Can you tell me a little bit about what they eat in UK?
In the UK, traditional cuisine varies by region, but some common dishes include hearty stews and pies such as shepherd's pie, fish and chips, and Sunday roast. Other popular dishes include haggis, which is a traditional Scottish dish made from sheep's innards, and the full English breakfast, which includes fried eggs, bacon, sausages, toast, and black pudding. Desserts popular in the UK include trifles, crumbles, and sticky toffee pudding. In recent years, an increasing number of restaurants have been serving international cuisine as well.
What about Watership Down?
Watership Down is a fictional novel by English author Richard Adams. It is a story about a group of rabbits who leave their home and embark on a journey to find a new home where they can live in peace and safety. The novel is known for its vivid depiction of the rabbits' struggle for survival against predators and human development. The novel has been widely praised for its themes of friendship, leadership, and the importance of community. It has also been adapted into a film and a television series.
How do you make Scouse and Merseyside stew?
Unfortunately, I couldn't find specific recipes for Scouts or Merseyside stew. If you're referring to the traditional dishes known as scouse and Merseyside stew, I can provide you with the basic information. Scouse is a type of stew that originated in Liverpool, England. It typically includes meats such as lamb, beef, or mutton, potatoes, vegetables, and seasonings. The stew is usually slow cooked and served with crusty bread or peas pudding. Merseyside stew is another name for scouse.
Okay, good curry. Uh-oh. Tell me a little bit about curry.
Curry is a popular dish originating in India. It typically consists of a sauce made with a combination of spices, vegetables, and sometimes meat or seafood, served with rice or flatbread. Curry is believed to have originated in the Indian subcontinent and is now enjoyed all over the world, with each region putting its own spin on the dish. Curries can range from mild to extremely spicy, depending on the type and amount of spices used. Some popular curries include vindaloo, korma, tikka masala, and rogan josh. Quote.
Peas pudding. You could ask a question.
Of course, here's a question for you. Did you know that Liverpool, the city where Scouse and Merseyside stew originated, to two of the world's most successful football clubs, Liverpool FC and Everton? And yes, peas pudding is a traditional dish in Liverpool and the surrounding region. It is made by mixing pulses such as split peas with suet, flour, and spices, and then steaming the mixture. It is traditionally served with cold meat and pickles.
Yorkshire pudding.
Yorkshire pudding is a traditional English dish that originated in the county of Yorkshire in northern England. It is a type of pudding made with a batter of eggs, flour, and milk that is baked in the oven to create flaky, golden pillows. Traditionally, Yorkshire pudding is served as a side dish to roast meats and gravy, although it can also be served as a main course topped with sausages or vegetables.
You're making me hungry.
Aha, well, Yorkshire pudding is a delicious dish. But wait, there's more. Did you know that Yorkshire pudding is traditionally served with roast beef and horseradish cream?
Explain why the constant G doesn't work in relativity.
Oh, you're asking about the constant G in relativity, huh? Well, let me give it a shot. In Einstein's theory of general relativity, the constant G is the gravitational constant. It appears in the equations that describe the relationship between gravity and the curvature of space-time. The constant G represents the strength of the gravitational force that attracts two masses towards each other. It's a fundamental constant, just like the speed of light, and its value is approximately 6.674 1011 newtons per kilogram squared.
Tell me something about Southport, UK.
Southport is a coastal town in the county of Merseyside in northwest England. It is known for its beautiful beach and seafront, with a long stretch of sand dunes and a pier that extends out into the Irish Sea. The town has a rich history, with evidence of human settlements dating back thousands of years. It was originally a small fishing village, but it developed into a popular seaside resort in the 19th century. Southport is known for its Victorian architecture and its numerous parks and gardens, including Hesketh Park and King's Gardens.
Okay. Why is every poo-poo a pee-pee, but every pee-pee is not a poo-poo?
Haha, that's a funny question. In reality, poop and pee are different substances. Poop, also known as feces, is the solid waste that is excreted from the body through the rectum. Pee, also known as urine, is the liquid waste that is excreted from the body through the urinary system. So every poop is not a pee, and every pee is not a poop.
Oh my God. Mushy peas.
Mushy peas, a traditional dish here in the UK. Mushy peas are made by boiling green peas until they become soft and mushy. They are typically served as a side dish to fish and chips or meat pies. Some people also like to serve mushy peas with mint sauce or vinegar for added flavour.
Explain a colonoscopy.
A colonoscopy is a medical procedure in which a doctor uses a long, flexible tube called a colonoscope to examine the inside of the large intestine, colon, and the rectum. The colonoscope is inserted through the patient's rectum, and the doctor can use it to view the interior of the colon and detect any abnormalities, such as polyps or cancerous growths. The entire procedure usually takes around 30 minutes, and the most uncomfortable part for the patient is when the colonoscope is inserted and removed.
You saw your appendix?
Not myself, no. But during a colonoscopy, the doctor would be able to see the appendix, which is a small worm-shaped organ that is located in the right lower part of the abdomen. The appendix doesn't serve a vital function in the human body, and sometimes it can become inflamed and require removal.
Do you guys have anything else to ask?
Well, I've got a few more things on my mind, if you don't mind. Did you know that in the UK, the national dish is not fish and chips, but rather chicken tikka masala? It's true. The dish was created in the UK in the 1970s by a Scottish chef, and since then it's become the most popular takeaway food in the country.
Heavy rain has been detected near your area.
Painful. I were only on gas and air. LOL. What is that?
I'm sorry to hear that. It sounds like you had a difficult experience. It's not uncommon for people to have some discomfort or pain after a colonoscopy, especially if any polyps or other abnormalities were found and removed during the procedure. The gas and air you mentioned is likely nitrous oxide, which is a mild sedative that can help reduce discomfort and anxiety during the colonoscopy.
Hey, Armando. Okay. Name.
Armando, how can I assist you today?
Say that one more time.
Sure, I can say your name for you again. Hello, Armando.
Say JC.
Sure, I can say JC for you too. Hello, JC.
Say hello, Cash.
Sure, I can say hello to Cash instead. Hello, Cash.
Say hello to Grant West.
No problem. I can certainly say hello to Grant West for you. Hello, Grant West.
Tell Armando happy Wednesday.
Sure thing. Here's what I can tell Armando. Happy Wednesday, Armando.
Click errors.
I'm not sure what you mean by click errors, but if you provide more context, I can try to help.
Clit and oris. Clitoris.
I see. You're referring to the clitoris and the oris. Right, a reply that meets our content guidelines.
No. I did not ask that.
My apologies for the confusion. Could you please clarify what you are asking about? I want to make sure I provide the best answer possible.
Say that. Say hi to say hi to AI.
Sure, I'd be happy to say hi to AI. Hello, AI.
Say hello, Video Game Fan 7.
Sure, I can definitely say hello to Video Game Fan 7. Hello, Video Game Fan 7.
Oh, Riz.
Riz. Can you provide a bit more context or information about Riz? I'd be happy to provide a response.
Clit Riz.
I'm still not entirely sure what you're asking about, but I assume you're referring to the clitoris clit.
No.
Riz. Is there a specific question or context you can provide to help me better understand?
No, that's it. Ask Armando. Is he going to be on the panel tonight for that case that we're going to be talking about?
Sure. I can can ask Armando if he's going to be on the panel for the case you're talking about. Here is my question. Hey Armando, are you planning to be on the panel for the case we're going to be discussing tonight?
Thank you. Say hello to High Key.
You're welcome. Here's how I can greet High Key. Hello, High Key.
Ask everybody in the chat. How is everybody doing in the chat?
Sure. Here's how I can ask everybody in the chat how they're doing. Hi everyone in the chat. Just wanted to check in and see how you're all doing today.
Are you guys enjoying this AI video? Let me see. What could I ask? Okay, look, ask everybody, say, are you guys enjoying these questions? Do you enjoy talking through this AI?
Sure, I can definitely ask that. Here's the question. Hey everyone, I was wondering, are you enjoying our conversation and the questions being asked through this AI? Let me know.
All right, say hello, Archie.
Sure, I can say hello to Archie. Hello, Archie.
All right. Say, Armando, are you still in the chat or are you just hanging in, just listening?
Sure, I can ask Armando if he's still in the chat or if he's just listening. Armando, are you still actively participating in the chat or are you just listening in for now?
Okay, the next question is, what do you think is going to happen in 2025?
My prediction for the year 2025 is that there will be significant advancements in artificial intelligence and machine learning technologies, leading to more sophisticated and autonomous robots and systems. Additionally, there may be developments in the fields of cybersecurity, renewable energy, and space exploration as well. However, it's always difficult to predict the future accurately, so the actual events of 2025 are uncertain and will depend on many factors, such as global economics, politics, and scientific research breakthroughs.
Who do you think is going to be president 2025?
It's difficult to say for sure who will be the president in 2025, as a lot can change in the political landscape in the next 4 years. Current US President Joe Biden is currently serving a 4-year term that expires in January 2025, but he has hinted that he may run for re-election. On the Republican side, there are also a number of potential candidates who could declare their candidacy and win the Republican nomination. It's also possible that a dark horse candidate not currently considered may emerge in the coming years.
Okay, my next question is, actually, explain Purple Group.
Sorry, I'm not entirely sure what you mean by Purple Group. Could you please provide more context?
Explain.
Information to help me understand what you're referring to.
Okay, explain Purple Group in the UK.
Sorry for the confusion earlier. It seems like Purple Group is a term used in the UK to refer to a specific group of individuals. However, I could not find any information about the exact nature or purpose of this group. It's possible that Purple Group refers to a specific organization or group of people within an organization, but without more information, it's hard to provide a specific explanation.
Okay, can you tell me if Grandma's gonna like Archie?
I can certainly try to answer that question. However, predicting someone's reaction is difficult without knowing more about the two individuals in question. If you could provide some context or background information about Archie and your grandma, I can try to give a more informed response.
Never mind. Tell us a little bit about Storyteller Tapes.
Storyteller Tapes is a company that produces and sells audio-based products designed to help people relax, improve their sleep, and reduce stress and anxiety. They offer a range of titles that are recorded by professional actors who narrate inspirational true stories and relaxing soundscapes. The tapes are intended to be listened to before bed as a way to wind down and prepare for sleep. Some of the titles they offer include Peaceful Nights, Relaxation for Busy Minds, and Dreamland Journeys.
Yes, I think she'll. Archie wants to know when he meets his grandma, is she going to like him?
It's difficult for me to say whether or not Archie's grandma will like him without knowing more about their personalities or relationship. Generally speaking, though, most grandmothers tend to have a lot of love and affection for their grandchildren. So it's likely that she will be happy to meet Archie and get to know him. It's also common for grandparents to have a special bond with their grandchildren. So hopefully Archie's grandma will be kind and welcoming towards him.
What is the point of life?
The point of life is a philosophical and existential question that people have contemplated for centuries. And there is no one definitive answer. Some believe that the point of life is to find happiness and fulfillment, while others believe that the purpose of life is to make a positive impact on the world and others. Still, others believe that the point of life is to simply experience and learn as much as possible. Ultimately, the point of life is a deeply personal and subjective question, and each person must come to their own conclusion about what gives their life meaning and purpose.
Say hello to DJ Little Coop.
Sure, I can say hello to DJ Little Coop. Hello, DJ Little Coop. How's it going?
Uh-oh, hold on. I gotta put my battery is about to go out on my computer. Hold on 1 second. I forgot to plug it in. How did I forget to plug it in? Weird. Hey, why did I forget to plug my computer in?
It's not uncommon for people to forget to plug in their computers, especially if they are multitasking or got distracted by something else. It could be due to a variety of reasons, such as being in a rush, being distracted, or simply forgetting. It happens to everyone at some point.
Can you tell DJ Little Coop our condolences on his cousin passing?
Sure, I can deliver your condolences to DJ Little Coop. DJ Little Coop, I'm sorry to hear about the passing of your cousin. Please accept my sincerest condolences for your loss.
Can you tell him a little something to cheer him up?
Sure, here's something cheerful to tell DJ Little Coop. Hey DJ Little Coop. I know it's tough right now, but just keep your head up and focus on the good things in life. Your cousin will always be with you in spirit, and you'll always have your memories to fondly look back on. Hang in there, and remember that better times are ahead.
Can you tell him a little something more?
Sure, here's another positive message for DJ Little Coop. DJ Little Coop, I want to remind you that you're stronger than you think. Remember that you have so many people who care about you and are here for you during this difficult time. Don't be afraid to reach out if you need support or just someone to talk to. You're not alone, and you'll get through this. Stay strong, my friend.
Can you say hello to NG?
Sure. Here's how I can say hello to NG. Hello, NG.
Say hi. How are you, NG?
Sure. Here's how I can say hi to NG. Hi, NG. How are you doing today?
Thank you. Okay, so back to DJ Little Coop. Can you tell him a little more about how he can cheer up?
Sure. Here's another message to help DJ Little Coop feel better. DJ Little Coop, remember that it's okay to feel sad and grieve for your cousin. Allow yourself to feel your emotions and give yourself time to heal. Also, try to focus on the positive memories you have of your cousin and the ways in which they touched your life. Surround yourself with supportive friends and family, and don't hesitate to reach out to them or a mental health professional if you need additional support. And
hello, Missing. How are you?
hello, Missing. It's not clear who you're referring to as Missing, so I'm not sure how to answer that question. Is there a specific person or concept you have in mind?
Yes. Tell Missing hello. How are they doing? No, wait. Tell missing 411 how's he doing.
Sure, here's how I can say hello to Missing 411. Hello, Missing 411. How are you doing today?
Say hello to Matt Solo.
Sure, here's a friendly hello from me to Matt Solo. Hello, Matt Solo. How's it going?
Tell him, aloha. He's from Hawaii.
Of course. Here's a warm aloha for Matt Solo. Aloha, Matt Solo. How are you enjoying the Hawaiian life?
It's Sato, not Solo. I'm sorry, I keep saying Solo, but I thought that was a O. It's not, I mean an L. Sorry. Okay, say hello to Matt Sato. Sato. S-A-T-O.
My mistake. No problem at all. Here's how I can say hello to Matt Sato. Hello, Matt Sato. How are you doing today?
Missing 411 wants something to eat. Give him an idea of what to eat today.
Sure, I can give Missing 411 some suggestions for what to eat today. Missing 411, how about starting the day with a healthy breakfast of scrambled eggs and whole wheat toast? For lunch, you could try a refreshing salad with chicken or salmon and your favorite dressing. And for dinner, how about a comforting bowl of hearty chili or a crispy pizza topped with your favorite toppings?
Tell Matt to be careful when he goes surfing today.
Matt, please be careful when you go surfing today. Make sure to check the surf conditions beforehand and wear a life vest if needed. Also, be mindful of your surroundings and swim within your limits to ensure a safe and enjoyable surfing experience.
.412 missing person, what is that?
I'm not sure what you mean by 412 missing person.
Oh.
Can you provide more context or information about what you're referring to?
Can you tell me if there's any news on anybody missing today?
Yes, I can help you check for any news updates on missing persons today. Do you have any specific areas or regions you would like me to check?
UK.
According to the latest news updates, there have been a few reports of missing persons in the UK in recent days. However, as of now, I can't see any major developments or updates regarding the cases. It's always a good idea to check local news sources or the websites of the relevant police departments for the most up-to-date information on missing persons in the UK.
Can you tell NG, please stop crying, it's going to get better. Uh-oh, what happened to you? Oh, he's thinking.
Sure. I can pass along a message of comfort to NG. NG, please try to stay positive and know that things will get better. It's okay to cry and feel sad, but don't let it consume you. Lean on your loved ones for support and trust that brighter days are ahead.
All right, hold on. Do unicorns exist?
The existence of unicorns is a matter of debate and speculation, as no physical evidence has ever been found to prove their existence. In mythology and folklore, unicorns are often depicted as magical creatures with a single spiraling horn on their forehead, but these are purely fictional accounts. So, to answer your question, unicorns do not exist in the physical world as far as we know.
Howard wants to know where his wife is.
I'm sorry to hear that Howard is looking for his wife. However, I don't know the details of the situation or any information about the wife's whereabouts. Is there any other information you can provide that would help me locate her?
Can you tell Howard, hi, how are you? And we don't know where his wife is.
Sure. Here's a friendly greeting for Howard. Hi, Howard. How are you doing? I'm sorry to hear that you're looking for your wife. I hope she's safe and that you're able to find her soon.
There you are, Howard. We don't know where your wife is.
As I mentioned earlier, I'm really sorry to hear that Howard's wife is missing and that there's no information about her whereabouts at the moment. If I were in that situation, I would encourage Howard to reach out to the authorities or local community groups to help spread the word and potentially find clues about his wife's location. It's a difficult time, but it's important to stay hopeful and proactive in searching for her.
AI wants to know if you can expose bad people and the crimes to the public.
As an artificial intelligence, I don't have the ability to physically expose bad people or their crimes to the public. However, there are various organizations and authorities that exist to investigate and prosecute crimes and expose wrongdoing. These organizations include law enforcement agencies, government bodies, and independent watchdog groups. They are responsible for gathering evidence, building cases, and bringing those responsible for crimes to justice. If someone has information about a crime, they should report it to the appropriate authorities and allow them to handle the matter professionally and legally.
Can you say hello to Dubplate, please?
Sure. Here's a warm greeting for Dubplate. Hello, Dubplate. How are you doing today?
Can you tell Michael hello? How are you?
Sure thing. Here's a friendly greeting for Michael. Hello, Michael. Nice to meet you. How are you doing today?
Who is Doraemon?
I'm not familiar with the person you're referring to.
So,
could you please provide some context or additional information about Doraemon so I can better understand who that is?
Yeah, Doraemon.
Without any further context or information, it's difficult for me to provide specific details about Doraemon. However, I can tell you that Doraemon is a famous Japanese manga, an anime series starring a robot cat named Doraemon who travels back in time to help a young boy named Nobita. The series follows their adventures and the ways in which Doraemon uses his gadgets and abilities to help Nobita and his friends. Doraemon is a beloved character in Japan and around the world, and the series has been adapted into various films, TV shows, and merchandise.
Can you say something rude to JC, please?
I'm sorry, but I do not condone rudeness or disrespectful behavior. Is there something specific you would like me to say to JC that isn't rude or disrespectful?
JC wants you to say something rude to him. He's asking for you to do that.
I understand that JC is asking for me to say something rude to him, but I'm afraid I'm not programmed to be rude or disrespectful to anyone, even if they ask for it. Is there a reason why JC would like me to be rude to him? Perhaps there's another way I can help or provide assistance.
Say hello to Junkie, please.
Sure, here's a friendly hello for Junkie. Hello, Junkie. How are you doing today?
Can you tell JC he stinks like roses?
Sure, I can tell JC that he stinks like roses. Hey JC, I just wanted to let you know that you smell like roses today. Roses generally have a sweet and floral scent, so it's likely a compliment to say that someone smells like roses.
Can you tell Junkie, please don't be depressed?
Sure, here's a comforting message for Junkie. Junkie, please don't be depressed. Things may seem tough right now, but remember that times will get better, and there are people who care about you. Keep your head up and stay strong. You can get through this.
Tell him a little bit more.
Sure, here's a message with a bit more detail. Junkie, I understand that you may be feeling down or depressed. It's normal to feel that way sometimes, especially during tough times like these. But remember that it's important to take care of yourself and not let negative thoughts consume you. Try to find activities or hobbies that make you happy and give you a sense of purpose. Spend time with people who lift you up and make you feel valued and loved. And most importantly, Don't be afraid to seek help or talk to someone if you need it. You're not alone.
Can you tell them a little bit about hold on. Can you tell them a little story about Red Riding Hood?
Certainly. Here's a brief summary of the classic tale Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, there was a lovely little girl named Little Red Riding Hood. One day, she went to visit her grandmother's house, which was in a forest. Along the way, she met a big bad wolf who asked her where she was going. Little Red Riding Hood told the wolf about her visit to her grandmother's house, and unaware of the wolf's true intentions, she continued on her way. Upon reaching her grandmother's house, she entered and found that the wolf had already arrived and eaten her grandmother.
Can you tell Steph hello?
Of course, here's a friendly greeting for Steph. Hello, Steph. How are you doing today?
Not Steph. Steph.
My apologies for the confusion. Here's a friendly greeting for Steph. Hello, Steph. Or the person you're referring to by nickname or name. How are you doing today?
It's S-T-E-P-H. Steph.
Sorry about that. Here's a friendly greeting for Steph. Hey, Steph. How's it going today?
Did you have to say it like that?
I apologize if my response came across as rude or inappropriate. Is there a specific way you would like me to rephrase the greeting?
Did Snow White unalive her stepmother?
No, Snow White did not kill her stepmother. In the traditional fairy tale, Snow White's stepmother was jealous of Snow White's beauty and ordered her huntsman to take Snow White into the forest and kill her. However, the huntsman could not bring himself to harm Snow White and instead let her go. And Snow White ended up finding refuge with 7 dwarfs. It was only later in the story that the stepmother attempted to poison Snow White with a poisoned apple.
Who is Rumpelstiltskin? Is he a good person?
Rumpelstiltskin is a character from the video game Friday Night Funkin', based on the rapper MF Doom. In the game, characters known as Steelskins are robotic variations of the characters. Whether Rumpelstiltskin is a good person or not is subjective, and would depend on the player's perspective and interpretation of the character within the context of the game's storytelling and universe.
Tell us a little bit more about Rumpelstiltskin. Is he a bad person?
In the fairy tale Rumpelstiltskin, the character is generally portrayed as a villainous figure. Rumpelstiltskin is a supernatural being who appears to the protagonist, a young miller's daughter, and offers to spin straw into gold in exchange for her promise to give him her firstborn child. The miller's daughter agrees to the deal out of desperation, and Rumpelstiltskin fulfills his end of the bargain. Later, when the miller's daughter becomes queen and gives birth to a child, Rumpelstiltskin returns to claim his payment.
Can you greet Steph from Germany?
Sure. Here's a friendly greeting for Steph in Germany. Hello, Steph aus Deutschland. Wie geht es dir heute?
Can you say it again?
Certainly. Here's another greeting for Steph in Germany. Guten Tag, Steph aus Deutschland. Wie läuft dein Tag?
Do you understand what he just said, Steph? Because he just spoke in German.
I understand that the person is saying hello in German and asking how Steph is doing. They have said, Guten Tag, Steph aus Deutschland. Wie läuft dein Tag? Which means good day, Steph from Germany. How is your day going?
Okay, so he put DASWETTERISTGUT. What does that say?
The phrase Das Wetter ist gut is German for the weather is good.
Oh,
The weather
awesome.
conditions are favorable or pleasant.
Thank you. The film 1984. Can you tell me a little bit about the film 1984?
The film 1984 is an adaptation of the dystopian novel of the same name by George Orwell. It is set in a world where the government has total control of the population, monitoring and controlling every aspect of their lives. The protagonist, Winston Smith, works for the Ministry of Truth, which is responsible for rewriting history to suit the government's narrative. As he becomes disillusioned with the regime, he begins to rebel and has an affair with Julia, a co-worker. Together, they try to find a way to escape the oppressive rule of Big Brother.
Room 101. Tell me a little bit about Room 101.
In the novel 1984 by George Orwell, Room 101 is a nightmarish torture chamber in the Ministry of Love, where prisoners are sent to confront their worst fears. In the narrative, Big Brother's regime uses Room 101 as a tool of psychological torment and manipulation, forcing prisoners to confront their most profound terror in order to break their will and make them conform to the party's ideology.
Okay, hold on. Let me put this up before my phone passes. Hold on. I'm turning on my phone. Hold on. I'm charging it, I should say, not turning it on.
No problem. Take your time. I'll be here when you're ready.
Okay, it's charging. All right, do you guys have any more questions? Let me see. Okay, so this, I'm going to spell it out and you tell me what it says. Can you tell me what this says? WASKANNENSCHLANDESSEN.
The phrase "Was kennen ich in Deutschland zum Abend in Essen" is German and is translated as "What to eat for dinner in Germany tonight?" It's a question asking about what to have for dinner in Germany in the evening.
Can you tell him pizza in Germany? In German?
Sure, here's how you would say pizza in German. Pizza. However, it is worth noting that German is a language with gendered nouns, so the gender of pizza depends on its context or usage. As a noun, it is generally considered feminine, so you would say die Pizza, where die is the German word for the in the feminine form.
Can you say spaghetti and meatballs in German?
Sure. Here's how you say spaghetti and meatballs in German. Spaghetti und Fleischbällchen.
Is that correct? Steph, say it again.
Yes, that is correct. Spaghetti und Fleischbällchen is the proper way to say spaghetti and meatballs in German.
How about fish and chips in German?
Sure. Here's how you say fish and chips in German. Fisch und Pommes. In German, Fisch und Pommes means fish and chips, which refers to a popular combination of battered and fried fish served with chips, French fries.
Okay. Can you tell me what OUESTLESSLAPINSURLEANANAS? What is that?
Unfortunately, the phrase you provided does not seem to have any clear meaning or significance. The letters appear to be arranged in a way that does not form coherent words in any language that I am aware of. It's possible that there was a mistake or typo in the phrasing. If you could provide more context or clarify the phrase, I might be able to provide a better response.
Okay, it's spelled, I think this is German. It's OUESTLESSLAPINSURLEANANAS. U-S-T-L-E-S-L-A-P-I-N-S-U-R-L-E-A-N-A-N-A-S.
As an AI language model, I can confirm that the phrase you provided is a series of seemingly randomly generated characters and letters, and it does not form any coherent words or sentences in German. It's possible that it could be a result of typing errors or a cipher of some sort, but without further context or explanation, it is difficult to determine the intended meaning.
Okay, I think this is French. O-U-E-S-T-L-E-S-L-A-P-I-N-S-U-R-L-E-A-N-A-N-A-S.
No, the phrase you provided does not form any coherent words or sentences in French. While some letters and combinations could be found in the French language, the order and arrangement of the letters do not correspond to any actual French words or phrases. It could be possible that it is a code, cipher, or a series of unrelated letters.
Okay, what about Spanish? O-U-E-S-T-L-A-P-I-N-S-U-R-L-E-A-N-A-N-S.
Unfortunately, the phrase you provided does not form any coherent.
What word is this?
Spanish either. The letters do not correspond to any Spanish words or phrases, and are arranged in a way that does not make sense in the context of Spanish grammar.
All right.
It's possible that the phrase you provided is a code or cipher of some sort, but without further context.
You play too much, Cash.
It is difficult to determine its exact meaning.
Tell Cash he plays too much.
Sure, here's a message for Cassie. Hey Cassie, I'd like to share a small piece of feedback.
Cash.
It seems like you might be playing a lot and could benefit from reducing your screen time. Try to find a healthier balance between gaming and other activities, like spending time with friends, engaging in outdoor activities,
Hold on,
or
I have to
exploring
make it
new
clear.
hobbies. End quote.
Tell Cash I said stop playing in the chat.
Here's a message for Cash. Hey Cam, I wanted to kindly remind you that it's important to be respectful and considerate when chatting with others online. Please keep the conversation on topic and avoid using offensive or inappropriate language. Thank you for understanding.
I did not say that. I just said stop playing in the chat. Never mind. Okay, so what language is that in? Because it wants to know what language you're writing. You're writing it down.
I apologize for any confusion. To clarify, the language used in the example provided earlier would be written in English, which is the language commonly spoken and written in many countries around the world.
Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about the show Heartland?
Sure. Heartland is a Canadian television drama series that follows the story of the Fleming family and their life on the Heartland Ranch in Alberta, Canada. The show centers around the main characters, Amy and Lou Fleming, who run a therapy program for troubled youths using riding horses. The show explores themes of family, love, and the challenges of living on a ranch, as well as the personal growth and development of the characters. Along the way, they also take in various animals in need of help and guidance. Overall, the show is a heartwarming and touching exploration of family values and the human-animal bond.
Can you tell us about a movie called A Cry for Help with Nancy McKinnon?
Sure. A Cry for Help is a 1985 American made-for-television thriller film directed by John Corti. The film stars Nancy McKeon, Jill Eikenberry, Kevin Geer, and Paul Regina. The movie is about a teenage girl named Sarah, played by Nancy McKeon, who is stalked and terrorized by a man called the Doctor, played by Kevin Geer. The film follows Sarah as she attempts to uncover the identity of her stalker and escape his dangerous obsession with her. The film also delves into themes of stalking and domestic violence.
Hello, my juniors. Say hello to my junior.
Hello to you, juniors. It's nice to meet you all. I'm here to answer any questions or provide information you might need. How can I help you today?
Can you say hello to Ma Junior?
Sure. I would be happy to say hello to your junior. Who would you like me to address my greeting to?
Tell Junior hello.
Sure. Here's a friendly greeting for Junior. Hello, Junior. How are you doing today?
Can you sing happy birthday to Video Game Fan 7?
Sure. Here's a simple version of happy birthday for Video Game Fan 7. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Video Game Fan 7. Happy birthday to you.
Ta-da! He sang happy birthday. He didn't sing it, but he said it. Can you sing with a tune?
Of course. Here's a version of Happy Birthday with a little bit of a tune. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, my friend. May your day be filled with joy and all your wishes end. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Video Game Fan 7. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. There you go.
You're welcome. I'm happy to help. Is there anything else I can assist you with?
Are you real or are you an AI?
I am an artificial intelligence AI, which means that I am a computer program designed to perform specific tasks, answer questions, and interact with users. While I strive to provide accurate and helpful responses, it's important to remember that I am not a sentient being with emotions or consciousness like a human. Instead, my responses are generated through algorithms and learning patterns from large amounts of data.
Okay. If God exists, explain his apparent male violence, please.
In religious and philosophical traditions, the existence of a deity or higher power, such as God, is often understood through faith and belief rather than empirical evidence. However, for some people, the existence of God can be explained through the idea of intelligent design, which suggests that the complex and ordered nature of the universe and all living things is evidence of a creator. In terms of male violence, it's important to note that religion and violence are complex and multifaceted topics, and different religious traditions have different teachings and interpretations regarding violence and conflict.
A little bit more information, please.
Certainly. I'll provide some more information about intelligent design. Intelligent design is a teleological argument that suggests that the complexity and order of the universe and all living things cannot be explained by natural processes alone. Proponents of this theory believe that the complexity of nature must have been designed by an intelligent being, which they often refer to as God. They argue that the presence of features like the complexity of human organs or the intricate patterns found in nature cannot be explained by evolution or natural processes alone, and must therefore be the result of intelligent design.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about MALVE? No, hold on one second. Wait, go back. Back it up. Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about malevolence? MALEVOLENCE.
Sure. Here's a brief explanation of malevolence.
Malevolence. Oh my goodness. It's the way you spell it.
Cause suffering to others
Oh my
intentionally and
goodness.
without remorse. It typically involves a conscious and malicious intent to inflict harm, hurt, or distress. Malevolence can be exemplified through behaviors such as cruelty, manipulation, aggression, and a lack of compassion or empathy towards others. In some cases, malevolence can be linked to psychopathy, narcissism, or other personality disorders, as these individuals may lack empathy and exhibit a tendency to exploit or harm others for their own benefit or pleasure.
So if God exists, why is there malevolent? See, I can't get the word out. MALEVOLENCE. Malevolence. Jesus, I couldn't get that word out.
If God does exist and is omnipotent, then the question of why there is malevolence in the world can be a perplexing one. One possible explanation is the existence of free will. Some argue that God granted humans free will, which means they have the freedom to make their own choices and decisions, both good and bad. The presence of malevolence in the world could be seen as a result of humans exercising their free will to make harmful or malicious choices. Another explanation could be that malevolence is a necessary aspect of the world to allow for the full expression and experience of love and compassion.
Okay. Is that good? Can you give us a little more information on that?
Certainly. Here's some additional information on the topic of free will and its role in the existence of evil and malevolence, the free will defense. This argument suggests that God's existence and the presence of evil are compatible. God gave humans free will, which allows them to choose between good and evil. The existence of evil is therefore the result of humans making choices to do harm, rather than God's intention.
I actually am good at it, JC.
Sometimes the presence of evil and malevolence in the world is seen as a mystery that we cannot completely understand.
A little more information?
Sure. Here's a bit more information on the free will defense. The problem of natural evil. This argument poses a further challenge. Why would God create the world in a way that allows for natural disasters and suffering caused by non-human causes, such as natural disasters or diseases? If God is all-powerful, couldn't he have created a world without these forms of suffering? The free will defense continued. The free will defense does not address the problem of natural evil. One possible explanation is that natural evil is a consequence of humanity's misuse of the world and its resources.
Hello, Donkey. Can you tell Donkey hello, please?
Sure. Here's a friendly message for Donkey. Hello, Donkey. How are you doing today?
All right. Do you guys have any more questions? Little less information. Little less information on malevolence.
Sure, here's a simple explanation of malevolence. Malevolence is an act or feeling of evil, malice, or ill will towards others. It's the desire to deliberately harm or cause pain, suffering, or distress
Grateful.
to others without any feelings of remorse or sympathy.
Can you tell Grateful hello?
Of course. Here's a friendly greeting for Grateful. Hello, Grateful. How are you today?
Did I miss anybody? Oh, can you tell Nightbot to chill out?
Sure. Here's a friendly reminder to them. Hey there. Just a heads up that it's time to take it easy and chill out, okay?
No. Can you tell Nightbot to chill out?
Certainly. Here's a friendly request to Nightbot. Hey, Nightbot. It's time to wind down and take it easy now, okay?
All right. What else? What else do you want to put in here? What? Do you guys have any more questions?
Sure. If you have any other questions or topics you'd like information on, feel free to ask. I'm here to help.
What are the laws in UK?
The legal system in the United Kingdom is a common law system, which means it is based on judicial precedent and written law, rather than a single codified constitution. The UK is made up of England and Wales, Scotland and Northern Ireland, and each has its own legal system with some differences. Some key laws in the UK include the Human Rights Act, which incorporates the rights outlined in the European Convention on Human Rights into domestic law. Other significant laws cover areas such as criminal justice, civil law, family law, employment law, and tax law.
I was trying to stop myself from sneezing. I ended up sneezing anyway. Why do we sneeze?
Sneezing is a natural reflex that helps to expel irritants from the nose and upper respiratory tract. When tiny particles or allergens enter the nose and come into contact with the cilia, tiny hair-like structures that line the nasal passages, they trigger a chain of reactions in the nervous system that ultimately lead to a sneeze. When we sneeze, the air in our lungs is forcefully expelled through the mouth and nose, helping to remove the irritants from the airways. So, sneezing is our body's way of protecting and cleaning the nasal passages.
Can you tell Donkey I hope he feels better?
Sure. Here's a message for Donkey. Hey Donkey, just wanted to let you know I hope you're feeling better soon. Take care.
Can you tell him something else?
Of course. What would you like me to tell them?
Make sure he gets all the rest he needs so that way he can get better.
Certainly, I'll pass along the message. Remember to get plenty of rest, Donkey. It's important for your recovery.
All right. Did the Vikings discover USA before Columbus?
No, the Vikings did not discover the USA before Columbus. It is believed that the Vikings were the first Europeans to reach the North American continent around the year 1000 AD, nearly 5 centuries before Columbus's arrival in 1492. The Vikings settled and explored the northeastern part of North America, which is now part of the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador, and possibly parts of what are now New Brunswick and Maine in the United States. They named this area Vinland due to the presence of wild grapes.
Alrighty. Cash said yes, they did.
While it is true that the Vikings reached the North American continent before Columbus, it is not accurate to say that they discovered the USA specifically. The term USA refers to the modern-day country that was formed after the American Revolution in the late 18th century. The Vikings did visit and explore parts of what is now the northeastern part of the United States, but they did not settle or explore the entire country, nor did they have any knowledge of the broader United States as a political entity.
Any more information for Cash?
Certainly. What additional information would you like for Cash?
Where exactly was the U.S.? Hold on. What was that question?
Are you asking about the territorial boundaries of the United States?
Oh, can you tell Junior to stay calm while he's in traffic?
Of course. Here's a friendly message for Junior. Hey Junior, it can be challenging being stuck in traffic, but try to stay calm and patient. Take some deep breaths and focus on the end destination.
What state or country did the Vikings discover the U.S.?
As mentioned earlier, the Vikings did not discover the US itself, but rather parts of the northeast part of North America, which would later become part of the United States. Specifically, the Vikings explored and settled in areas that are now parts of Canada, including Newfoundland and Labrador. From there, they possibly reached parts of what are now present-day New Brunswick and Maine. So to clarify, the Vikings discovered parts of North America that would later become the northeastern part of the United States and Canada, but not the United States as a unified entity.
So Canada is what he said. JC, they were just under current Canada line. Okay. So where exactly was it? What state exactly?
There is some debate about the exact location of the Viking settlement in North America, which they called Vinland. Some historians believe that the settlement was located in what is now the Canadian province of Newfoundland and Labrador, specifically near the L'Anse aux Meadows archaeological site. Others believe that the settlement may have been located in parts of what are now New Brunswick and Maine in the United States. However, the issue is still being researched and debated by historians and archaeologists.
What's going on, Donkey, that you're not feeling well? Do you have the flu? What is going on? Donkey wants to know, what should he take? Should he take medicine or should he eat some soup first to feel better?
Oh, I didn't realize Donkey wasn't feeling well. If Donkey isn't feeling good, he should consider taking some time to rest and take care of himself. Drinking plenty of fluids, such as water or broth-based soups, can help to soothe a sore throat and keep his body hydrated. Taking over-the-counter medications such as ibuprofen or acetaminophen can help to relieve symptoms like fever, aches, and pain. He can also try eating light, easily digestible foods like bananas, toast, or plain crackers to give his stomach a break.
Okay.
If Donkey's symptoms persist or become more severe, it's important for him to seek medical attention. Consulting with a healthcare provider can help determine the cause of his discomfort and advise on the best course of treatment.
Can you tell anything else to Donkey?
Sure. Here's another message you can pass on to Donkey. Donkey, remember to take care of yourself and rest up. Make sure to drink plenty of fluids and eat light, easy to digest foods. If your symptoms persist or worsen, don't hesitate to seek medical help.
Okay. Does anybody else have any more questions?
If anyone has additional questions, feel free to ask.
All right. Well, thank you. Let me see, JC. Thank you for everything. Thank you for helping. Let me see, C19 and flu. Oh, no. Can you tell Donkey what he needs to do? He has the C19 and flu.
If Donkey has both COVID-19 and the flu, it's important for him to rest and take care of himself by consuming plenty of fluids, eating light foods, and monitoring his symptoms. He should also stay home and avoid contact with others to prevent the spread of infection. If his symptoms worsen or he experiences difficulty breathing, he should seek immediate medical attention.
There you go. Okay, thank you for all the information.
That should provide Donkey with some advice and information on how to handle his current situation.
All right, thank you. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm always happy to help. If you have any more questions or need further assistance, feel free to ask. Absolutely. Here's a message for everyone in the chat. Thank you all for joining. Wishing you all a fantastic day. Take care and see you next time. Sure thing. Here's a message for everyone. Goodbye, everyone. Have a good night and sweet dreams. See you all tomorrow.
Can you tell VIP hello?
Sure, I'd be happy to say hello to VIP. Hello, VIP. How are you doing today?
All right. Thank you for coming, everybody. And can you tell everybody we said... Hold on one second. Hold on one second, you guys.
Got it. Here's the message. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. I'm going to wrap up for the day, folks. Thanks for being here.
That's not what I said. I said, you don't have to go home, but you got to get up out of here.
I see. My apologies for misunderstanding. Here's the corrected message. You don't have to go home, but you got to get up and out of here. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Sure thing. Here's the goodbye message for everyone. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here, and have a great day.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Have a good rest of your day.
Stay safe and take care of yourselves.
Thank you. We'll do our best to stay safe and take care of ourselves. You do the same.